I'll shine the same day they signed Tory. The Smith beside me, yes. My wrist is shiny, yes. At all times, catch all signs. Shots fly, no Anakin. Olive Garden wrap outfit inside a ramekin. Fucking breadcrumbs turn breadsticks when that text spit. Cause that marinara soak you. Safety off, you ain't Joku.
All right, before we get anything going, I've been forgetting to say this, but shout out to Nation Gang for Ahmed Johnson. Go to insubordinate.com, check out their music, Scorsese's, the whole nine, buy everything. Trust me, you'll thank me later. Welcome back to NFL Weekend, and welcome back to another episode of the Sports Syndicate podcast. I am your host, the man that bleeds Kelly Green or even the old color, the South Philly Psycho, Dom, and I am joined once again by my man, Nicky from Philly. How you doing tonight, bud?
Hey, man. Doing well, man. Doing well. The dog's barking, but hey, I'm ready for some football.
I was going to say, we might have to switch this all up to Cleveland Brown shit if the dog keeps barking. We're the dog pound now.
Yeah. Yeah, but man, so far so good. I'm impressed with the Eagles, even though they lost. We'll get into that. But I see a lot of good things with the Eagles. But yeah, thanks for having me on again, man. Appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. I agree, and we're going to get into that. But I figured we might as well jump off this show with a semi-interesting segment, one I like to call Too Soon. And obviously this Sunday we have the return of football in London. The Jets will be taking on the Falcons. And between that and obviously, if you guys know us, Nick and I both cover wrestling. We've got WWE superstars soon to be headed to Saudi Arabia.
Yep.
Do you think in this current stage of the pandemic and life that we're just in general, that maybe it's just a little bit too early to be sending athletes overseas or to foreign countries?
Yeah, that is a good question. I mean, maybe for everyday people like us, maybe it's too soon to travel to another country. But if you're with a multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar company like the NFL and the WWE, I mean, they do everything right. I mean, they probably wipe down everything. They probably, everybody is vaccinated. Everybody's 6 feet apart. And for companies like that and for athletes, I don't think it's too soon because it gives us joy. I know that sounds corny as hell, but it gives us something to look forward to. And just because, like I said in the beginning, I mean, they're going to cross their T's. They're going to dot their I's. They got the best doctors. They got the best everybody. Everything you can find. Top 5 stars, more than 5 stars. So no, I don't think it's an issue for them, but everyday people like us, I'm not really traveling tonight. I'm traveling down to the shore, but that's, same state. So it's not that big of a deal, but I personally would not go to a different country, even for my honeymoon. I got married in June this year. We went to Nantucket. I mean, still you had to, take a plane, but I don't know. Different countries, different rules, different laws. I mean, I could go on and on and on, but what do you think?
Man, it's a tough call because, I feel for these guys having to travel overseas to get that anxiety of I don't know where I'm going. I don't know the rules. I don't know exactly if it's worse here, if it's better here,
Yep.
And even like WWE, they've had some trouble in Saudi Arabia prior to this, and it had nothing to do with pandemic. So to throw that on top of it, that's got to have you on anxiety range of 12 out of 10.
Yeah.
And I do know between the NFL and the WWE, they probably have Meltzer rating doctors, 7 3/4 stars out of 5, that kind of shit.
Yeah.
So I do feel for him, but at the same time, looking at my life personally, I had a friend at the beginning of the month. No, about a month ago now. I'm sorry, who flew into the States from Chile, and he went out to Chicago. He actually got to go to All Out. He got to go around there, and then he came this way to see some friends. And him and my homegirl Grandma Wendy ended up wanting to stop by my house.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, man, he's coming from a different country. I know he's been quarantined, and I was nervous, but at the same time, I was thinking, I may never get to see this guy again.
Yeah.
And so at that point, I said, okay, fuck it, come over. So Yeah, it's a risk, but I think it's one that you're willing to take. It's sort of like what Nick was talking about, just for quality of life.
Yeah, there you go. That was better. You said it better than I did.
Because during the pandemic, stuff like even just having crowdless football games on TV made it feel a little bit better. Having empty arena wrestling shows every week made it feel a little better, a little bit more normal. And maybe these guys need to have that feeling as well, whether you're an NFL player or a WWE superstar or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe you need to feel like things are getting back to normal in your life too.
Yeah.
So as much as I want to like bash these people and say how dare you and everything else, I can't, because I kind of get it.
Yeah.
So if anything, I'm just hoping the game in England is going to be good, because sometimes those are rough games to watch, man.
They're like
early
Thursday
in the morning.
Games. Yeah.
Early in the morning and rough.
Or you know what? It also gives the opportunity to the athletes to see their second wives, their second life. No, I'm kidding.
You might be right.
Crickets,
I don't know.
Crickets.
If only I had the soundboard up, I'd hit you with it.
Yeah.
All right. So that one, I think we pretty much covered the shit out of that one. Why don't we move on to the next topic, which is, what the fuck did we just see? And this goes back to the video that came out after last Thursday's game between the Jags and the Bengals, where Urban Meyer was at a bar in Ohio getting a lap dance from a much younger woman. And good Lord, like I'll give Urban credit. I don't think he's ever gotten a lap dance before that night. He looked way too uncomfortable with it all to think that this guy's been in strip clubs and doing his thing. But it certainly it set the Jaguars off as an organization, especially when he, I think, initially had canceled all team practices and meetings and just kind of hid. Yeah. And they put out a statement saying that he had to regain the trust of the players in the organization. And then it's moved forward where he's apologized and said he's not resigning. So from this awkward 9-second video, we had a lot of drama. And the question, I guess the question then becomes, can Urban Meyer actually gain the team's trust back, or will this end up costing him his job in the near future? Yeah, well, I listen to a lot of radio, and they always say, too, huh?
and they always say, winning helps everything. And I think this would help the situation. We don't know the behind the scenes things. We don't know if he really, hit a home run with the girl. We don't know that. We just saw what we saw, and that was in the video. And that's still bad. And he is married, so that's messed up, in my opinion. I mean, there's a lot of other things that go on that we don't see. But besides that, to gain the trust back from the team, if we're just speaking about the team, not the family, not the people, you got to win. You got to win. I know it sounds lousy because winning, I mean, he got a lap dance with some woman that's half his age. Yeah, I get it. But winning helps. Winning helps a lot, So I think that will help with the team. But with his family and with the front office and with the cons, I mean, you got to stop that shit. I mean, I don't know if he's done it before, and I guess we haven't seen it yet. But you got to stop. You got to focus on winning. And let's be honest. They get paid a shit ton of money. You got to be on the straight and narrow. You got to make sure that you're not at the club dancing with the girls. You got to make sure if you do that, you're at your home or no one can see it. But honestly, like I said, they pay you the big bucks. All you should be thinking about is football. And right there, to be honest, he's not. He's leaving the football bubble, so to say, and he's doing things that grown-ass men with that's married should not be doing.
He was dealing with a different bubble, so to speak.
Yeah.
If you watch the video, he was dealing with a much different bubble. But you're absolutely right when it comes to that, though, Nick. Like, winning practically cures everything.
Yep.
You can mess up. You can have an attitude as a head coach. You can do it like Rex Ryan got into a lot of shit during his coaching stint, but it was always, as far as the Jets were concerned, they were winning, and I don't know if you've noticed this, but the Jets don't win much. So it was like, well, he's just being himself. You got to give him a break. Look at the success he's having on the field. But as soon as he started losing and that attitude kept up and the stories kept coming out, next thing you know, Rex Ryan is looking for another job.
Yeah.
So there is that. Doing some reading on this, it just looks bad. Like, I know it looks bad for him personally, but as far as his job, it looks bad for the franchise because Urban Meyer from day one has come in and said, no distractions, focus on football all day, every day. And then this.
Yeah.
So now you look like a complete hypocrite in front of a young locker room, in front of your staff, in front of the owners, in front of the entire organization. And it's going to be difficult for you to win if the guys you are coaching think you are a joke.
Yeah.
And so
absolutely.
I don't know where it's going to go. I couldn't tell you that. But if that's the road we're going down, where people start tuning this guy out because he preached to them and he preached to them, and then he became a bigger distraction than the entire team combined, they may just stop listening to him altogether and maybe, I'm not saying tank, but at least just kind of phone it in and wait for the next guy.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I feel for the Jags. They almost won that game. They felt they had a little confidence, and then this comes out and it slaps the entire organization from the top down right in the face. And I know that wasn't his intention, but sometimes intentions don't matter next to action.
Yeah.
And I can't say I'm hoping he keeps this job because I don't really give a shit about Urban Meyer. I'm just like, I go either way. He's meh. Every time he went to another college team, I was like, meh.
Yeah.
And then I found out the Jags were hiring him, and I was like, meh.
Yeah. No, I agree, man. It's just there's no trust. And if there's no trust and there's no faith, then what's the point of playing for somebody that, doesn't put their all? And like I said, they pay you the big bucks. Stay out of trouble. And stay out of the limelight. I mean, he's not. I don't know if he's in trouble. That's that's between him and his wife, and they'll deal with that. But stay out of the limelight, please. I don't want to see it.
I would honestly laugh my ass off if he got like one of his friend's daughters to do this at a bar, record it, so he could get fired and like end up at USC or some shit.
Yeah, that's extreme.
But it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out because it could go so many different directions from here. It could be something the team rallies around him and
that too. They're all young
forward, or it could be something that just derails them after an already rough start to the season. So I guess that's one reason to pay attention to Jacksonville. But now that we've gone around the league a little bit, now that we've dipped and dived and gave you a little bit of just the professional side, it's time to throw on the fan hats. It's time for hometown bias.
Yes,
We had already mentioned it a little bit in the intro, and we're heading right back there. We had a very interesting game between the Chiefs and Eagles this weekend, and obviously the Eagles pulled up short, but it wasn't the worst game in the world. It could have been better. Could have been better.
Absolutely.
But I guess before I get into any specifics myself, I'll toss it to my man Nikki from Philly and let you give us your thoughts, your insights into what happened last Sunday with Kansas City and Philly.
There's a few things. I mean, I could just start off with saying the Chiefs, they needed this. That's why they won. And I could say maybe Nick Sirianni didn't plan as well as he should have. He still didn't run the ball as much as he should. But it looked good. It looked like we are doing better. It looked like we're taking those steps to become a better team. But he tried with Sanders. Let's be honest. He did. He tried with Ertz. Ertz, he was on my bench, but he got me some points. It shows that he's trying to do what we've been asking, and not just us, but, the front office, and just it's common sense. Run the ball if you have a good running back. It helps with everybody else. Ertz, pass it to Ertz, pass it to Goddard. Get your rookies in the mix with, Smith and all that. So he was trying. I understand that. And, I mean, he put up 30 points. I mean, that's impressive. We could beat teams like Carolina with that many points. Again, I don't know, how long the Chiefs honestly played well. if it was the third and fourth quarter, maybe they, pressed the brake a little there. But we did look good overall. I am happy to see that he's listening, he's understanding, and he did have the press conference this week, and he said a lot of things that we wanted to hear. He said, I know we got to run the ball. I know we got, good rookie wide receivers. I know we got to get, them the ball more often. And I know that Hurts has to, run a little, and just the game plan in itself. You mentioned Cox. You mentioned, everybody that needs to get into the game and work with them, work with Cox as well as he plays. He's getting paid a lot of money. If he knows what he's doing, let him do it. Don't game plan something for Cox. So overall, I'm happy. I'm happy to see that he's taking the next step in this process, and we got to relax. He's a rookie. We have a shit ton of rookies. Our quarterback is basically a rookie, so
more
good. Yeah, well, I'm okay. I mean, I'm not happy with an L, but
no,
it is what it is. We're getting better. We're not going to be a Super Bowl team, but we could, make a playoff run. But again, the Cowboys look good. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, this is very true. I mean, as far as the game goes, first I'm going to start with Kansas City. I think even though they won that game, they have to be a little bit concerned because out of the 2 wins that they had, they were both similar. It wasn't like they exactly won the game. It was more like the team they were playing made enough mistakes to allow them to win the game.
I didn't even bring that up. It happened in
Cleveland. Yeah. It happened in Cleveland with the bad snap on a punt and the fumble at the end of a game and all that. And it happened in this game, too. It happened a couple of times. For starters, the 2 touchdowns the Eagles had that were called back by penalties.
Yep.
Now, again, that goes to what you were talking about. Young team, maybe a young coaching staff not quite knowing what to call in those situations or whatever. But it still happened. And if you take those field goals off the board and you put those touchdowns on, all of a sudden it's a different game. There were also 2 separate times where it was 4th and goal, and they didn't even bother for a field goal. They just went for it and didn't get it.
Yeah.
And so you're looking at 4 opportunities in a game where you came up with a combination of 6 points, where you could have had, 2 touchdowns, where you could have had 20.
Yep.
So that's the difference between winning and losing the game is those 4 opportunities right there.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't really like Kansas City came out and they didn't really take their foot off the gas. They couldn't because the Eagles were keeping up with them throughout most of the game, but they'd get down to the red zone, they'd get a touchdown, they'd get a call back.
Yeah.
They'd end up settling for a field goal. Or they'd get to the red zone, they'd get to 4th and goal like the first half, and they'd go for it, and they wouldn't convert. And Kansas City would then march the field and score a touchdown. And it was like, well, why don't you just take the goddamn point?
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like sometimes it's youth and it's kind of being aggressive at a time where maybe you should just settle.
Yeah.
Like 3 points is good here. We're in a close game. We might need these 3 points.
Yeah.
We don't always have to go for it on 4th and goal. We don't have to do that, especially against a team like this. We got to get all the points on the board we can get. Maybe we catch them later because in this case, this happened in the first half. In the second half, might have been a different story, but the game got away from them as it went on due to these, pretty crucial mistakes.
Yeah.
I mean, so far, this Eagles team is leading the league in penalties, just penalties piling up left, right, and center. They're going to set an NFL record this year, and even if the season was 16 games, they'd still break the old record.
Yeah,
like it's not like, oh, well, you added another game on, so of course they had more penalties. No, they're gonna break it by far.
Yeah,
smash it. And this is you want to be saying like, hey, we're up there with the greatest show on turf, not hey, we're up there with the most penalized teams of all time. It's not going to help you win games, but I loved the game Devontae Smith had. That was he had over 120 yards on like 6 catches and really gave them a weapon. I'm hoping to see him get more comfortable and get utilized more in the offense. And I do really like what Jalen Hurts is doing, not only this year but last year, because if you go back and you look at his numbers through 8 starts, they are comparable to any of the best eight game stretches in like franchise history. They're right up there with like McNabb and Vic and Randall Cunningham, for instance.
Yeah.
So if these, and I'm not talking about rookie numbers, I'm just talking about numbers after 8 games.
Yeah.
Like these guys were in years 2 and 3 and 5, and he's in his barely second, and had 8 games over a 2-year stretch. So he's definitely impressive. And it was even more impressive when you look at it and you think 4 of the Eagles' 5 starting offensive linemen missed that game.
Yeah.
You had Jason Kelce and backups all the way across that line. Just backups.
Yeah.
Lane Johnson missed it for personal reasons. Mailata was hurt. Brandon Brooks was hurt. Ike got hurt. And maybe we'll get 1 or 2. We might get our tackles back this week. So that bodes well in Carolina. But to see what Ertz was able to do with an offensive line that was just beaten down.
Yeah.
Just at least second stringers and Jason Kelce, Yeah.
I see it
impressive.
I see it this way. I mean, we dug ourselves a hole with the penalties, and that does not help. But like you said, like there was a lot of good things last week. I mean, Hurts looks confident, he looks like he's playing well. Right. Ertz got the ball. That's great to see. It's just the little things like Barnett. Like, what are you doing, man? He's just – I don't know if he's just done or he forgot how to play. There's
what happened to Derek Barnett from 2017?
Yeah.
The guy that forced the fumble on Brady in the Super Bowl. What happened to that man?
Yeah.
I'm still looking for him. I know. Nick Sirianni had called out Fletcher Cox, and he even responded by saying, he's right. I've got to step my game up a little bit, but I need these guys around me to do the same." And he's not wrong. I mean, Hargrave has been playing well.
Yeah.
We're missing Brandon Graham, but you know who I haven't seen? Who we signed in the offseason? Ryan Kerrigan.
Yep.
Where the fuck that dude was a monster in Washington for years, even on their defense last year, and he has been non-existent through 4 games. And I know some of it is playing time, but even then, it's like how can you not get into this rotation with Brandon Graham on injured reserve?
Yeah,
makes no sense.
Yeah. Yeah,
so
it's just
either the coaches are fucking up, or you are doing something to get pulled from this rotation because they desperately need you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if I'm taking, if you ask me to, what's the word of the week, I would say promising. I think we have a team. They're young. They make mistakes. That's going to happen. Like I said in the beginning, rookie coach, rookie defense coach, rookie coordinators. Young. I get it.
Young.
And it looks good.
I honestly think I'm older than Nick Sirianni. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. I don't know how old he is.
I can't remember off the top of my head how old he is, but I'm pretty sure I'm older than him. Yeah. So it's just youth all over the place. But the potential is there.
That's the word, not promising.
Promising works too, but the potential is there. You just got to put it all together on the field. Like they did force a turnover, but they didn't get a whole lot of pass rush on Patrick Mahomes, and they couldn't stop Kansas City's running game, which was just kind of sad considering how much Kansas City runs in the first place.
Yeah.
I will say, because again, I think I said it last week, I do feel for the man still. I have to congratulate Andy Reid for being, what is he, the first coach to win 100 games with 2 different franchises? Like it's incredible. That's impressive as hell. Congratulations to him. I also did call the 40 burger. If you go back and check tape,
my man.
I didn't have the other side, but I called the 40 burger in that game.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to skip from that to another event that took place in Philly last night, which I was quite excited about, but unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to go. But Nikki from Philly did.
Yes, I did.
AEW Dynamite was held last night at, what was it, the Wachovia Center?
Temple's Arena. Give me a second. It starts with an L. I don't know. But where they where they play basketball.
Okay,
Leacourse Center.
Oh, okay. It was the
Yeah.
Wachovia Center last time I was there. That shows you how dated I am. But I knew it was the basketball stadium. AEW Dynamite's 2-year anniversary show. Give us just your takes on the experience overall, and what it was like to be there, and just have fun. Honestly, go nuts with it. Have fun with it.
Yeah. The atmosphere was something electric. I mean, you got to look at it. When you go to a WWE event, you're going to see kids, and that's okay. I mean, they cater to that audience, and we understand that, and that's why they're not multi, but they're a $1 billion company for that reason. They understand Vince is a businessman, but I'm here for professional wrestling, and WWE is professional wrestling. I mean, they have box office numbers. They do well. SummerSlam, Saudi Arabia. I mean, who doesn't want to see Brock versus Roman? Like, that's cool. But all that aside, I was there with a bunch of grown men watching wrestling, and it was something else. It was something different. It was something more exciting. It was different. That's the word of the week right there. It was different.
It was different.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was really cool to not have to deal with little kids. It was really cool to have, the matches and the entertainment catered towards me, a 30-year-old who's, still watching wrestling, and I'm proud of it. But overall, it was a hell of a time. I went with a couple friends. We tailgated a little, and we just enjoyed
cool.
It was a small arena too, so the lines weren't long. The tickets weren't pricey. It was just a good time, and it's a great time to be a wrestling fan. So I had to go, and it was phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like a blast watching it, because we did a live watch along on our YouTube channel, and in our Facebook group, and God, it just looked like the place was rocking from start to finish. And I guess you already know the results of Rampage coming up Friday night. So
yeah, you know what? I left. I did not. I have a little puppy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have a little puppy. I have a little puppy at home, and he could not be, home alone for another hour. I think I was out for at least 6 hours. So Daddy had to come home. So
you're lucky. You're lucky you didn't come home to a disaster zone after 6 hours with a puppy, man. That happened to me once. But yeah. I mean, I'm not ashamed to admit it. I'm a sports guy, but I'm also a 40-something-year-old that watches wrestling, and I'm not ashamed of that either. And it was a great show last night. Like, just especially the main event. I was having flashbacks to like going out to the bingo hall and watching this stuff. Watching TLC matches back in the day with Matt Hardy coming off the ladder. Only this time he's putting Orange Cassidy through a table. And I'm just like, whoa, give me a minute. I got to process that. Honestly, that, for wrestling fans, that show was probably more extreme than Extreme Rules.
Yeah.
And it's like, WWE has its place. I always call it sports entertainment, because that's what they call it. This is pro wrestling. And if you're going to put a word on it, the word is alternative.
There you go.
I don't even think they really planned anything for Dynamite that night. I just thought, we're going to show up somewhere in Philly on a Wednesday night. We're going to start recording, and this is what happens, because this is what used to happen.
Yeah. And it seemed
every
like that
night at a bingo hall, this is what used to happen.
Yeah, and it seemed like that too. I mean, there wasn't a lot of matches announced on the card. So it just seemed like, they love what they do. They're just going to go and have fun. So it was a great time. And like you said, we've been wanting an alternative for years, dude, and we got it. Take advantage of it. WWE is good. We get that. It's cool. Brock's back. He's an ass kicker. I love that. Roman's doing great. That storyline's amazing. It looks like they stacked Raw after the draft, so maybe something comes out of that. So it's good to be a wrestling fan. Don't hate it.
No, don't hate on it. That's for damn sure, because you'd be missing out. But it's like, we all know where WWE is and what they're about and what they can do. And it's just interesting to see AEW evolve, because they've come so far in a couple of years. And now they're getting these names, and they're doing all these things, and they're pulling all these numbers, and you're thinking, wow. I can't remember any company rising this fast and being this good. So it's it's like the Eagles potential. The potential of AEW is something. I guess that's another word for the show. We're picking words for the show now, guys. We do it. We can. It's our fucking show. And I know what else you're thinking. Psycho, what the fuck, man? Can we get back to something sports related? And I've got something sports related that came from AEW that is also part of Hometown Bias. And I want to verify with Nikki from Philly because I found this video from AEW Dynamite. Could have been from Rampage, so I'm not sure if you were there for this. But apparently the people in Philly in a basketball arena that Ben Simmons was playing in were chanting this. Fuck Ben Simmons.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, it looks like that was Rampage. I was not there, but I did see the same video. The chants last night were amazing, Yeah,
they really were.
They were amazing. I mean, they were chanting for Luchasaurus. It was just a lot of random chants that you don't hear, but that chant, specifically that chant, was necessary. That's how we all feel. I mean, we just talked about the Eagles, how they're young and they're trying their hardest to perform on the field. And this guy is sitting, not even on the bench. He's not even coming. He's not even trying to be a good teammate,
Nope, because he got his feelings hurt.
Yeah.
You hurt my feelings. I'm going home. You can keep the $8 million. You're a fucking moron. But yeah. It's nice because sometimes, watching ESPN or seeing some of these reports, they seem to take Ben Simmons' side. They seem to say, well, Joel Embiid shouldn't be saying this in the media, or this works for Ben Simmons, or, the crowd's there. They're going to want Ben back. And then you see a Philly crowd and in unison, they're chanting, fuck Ben Simmons at a wrestling event.
Yeah.
At a wrestling event. Fuck everything. We're a wrestling show, but it has nothing to do with Ben Simmons outside of Franklin the dog showing up with best friends, which was dope.
He did, yeah.
But shout out to Franklin the dog, by the way. Yeah. Anyway, it's interesting that this isn't even technically, if you want to split hairs, it's not even technically a sporting event, and these fans are sitting around chanting "fuck Ben Simmons" at the top of their lungs.
Yeah.
So when like Brian Windhorst or Woj or one of these guys reports on how detrimental this is to the Sixers and how it would behoove them to, get him back on the court and get him confident, and how fans aren't going to appreciate this. I want to point them to that video every fucking time. I might tag them when I get off. Just to, hey, did you see this? You might want to change your tune. Yeah. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean,
that.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I just, Philly fans, they're notorious for what? Being assholes. I mean, that's a load of bullshit. We support Harper. He loves us. We support everybody. But if you're going to dog us, if you're not going to show up, if you're not going to put your 110% into it, I don't think we're the only fans that are going to show that. There's a lot of fans that are going to be disappointed. I mean, Sanders, he's still playing with us. He's still trying his hardest. He's not getting the ball, but he's,
But he's not going home either.
Yeah. He didn't take his ball like Stone Cold and go home, Yeah. So it's like
going back to like Shady. Andy Reid didn't always give him the ball in games. There were games where he got 10, maybe 12 carries. And he was making a lot of money too, and he was a big deal in Philly, and he wore number 25. But did you ever see him just say, well, I'm going home because Andy Reid doesn't think he can win a Super Bowl with me at running back?
Yeah. I pulled up the stats. Listen to this. 7 carries for 13 yards.
Oh.
But he's still in it. Ben Simmons, he leaves.
Gone.
I'm going to post on Instagram. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to show you that, I don't give a shit, which is, exactly what he's doing.
I'm going to show you that I'm out living my life and doing whatever just to piss Philly fans off a little more. And as a Sixers fan, even in the years, because I showed up to a lot of these games, even in the years where they were talking about possibly trading Allen Iverson.
Yeah.
You never, ever, ever heard an entire stadium full of people chanting "fuck Allen Iverson."
Yeah.
In fact, most people didn't want him to go. I didn't.
Yeah.
And then you get to Ben Simmons, and you're like, yeah, fuck Ben Simmons. Because you know the biggest difference between the two of them? Allen Iverson would outwork anyone.
Yeah.
Anyone. Ben Simmons won't get off his couch. I'm doing that. Give me $8 million. Okay?
Seriously. Yeah. It's not about
I'm doing
practice,
exactly.
dude.
I'm doing, yeah. Allen Iverson didn't need practice. Your ass, you need practice.
Yeah.
There's a huge difference. I'm sorry. That's the end of hometown bias. We had a great time with that. Maybe I want to get carried away.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm with you, AEW crowd. Fuck him.
Fuck Ben Simmons.
So we're gonna get to a lighter note, and we're gonna move on to our pick segment for Week 5.
No.
And we're recording this Thursday night, so we don't have all the injuries yet. We're gonna do the best that we can, and since it hasn't started yet, we're about half hour, 45 minutes away. Let's start with the Thursday night game as the 3-1 Los Angeles Rams come in to take on the 2-2 Seattle Seahawks. Nikki from Philly, who you got in this one?
Yeah, it looks like something happened to the Rams. Looks like they're not as good as we thought they were, and maybe that'll play into Seattle being home on a Thursday night. And I mean, Wilson is still amazing. He's still good at what he does. He's getting the ball to wide receivers. He's running the ball. He's throwing the ball well. So I see a win here for the Seahawks. I know that's big because my MVP. We'll get to that. But it's one of these guys that are playing tonight. But Seahawks, I think they need this win, so I'm going to go with the Seahawks here.
Okay. You know, I think I have an idea of what happened to the Rams. I think the Rams got a little too high off of that win against Brady and the Bucks.
Yeah.
You know, they celebrated a little too much. They got their heads got a little too big, and they felt a certain way, and then they walked into Arizona, and Arizona gave them a fucking reality check, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like a painful reality check. Now that being said, I mean, the Seahawks are good, but their defense isn't what they used to be. I know Russell Wilson is undefeated on Thursday nights. He's like 4 or 5.
Oh, shit. I didn't know that.
I know that, you know, they've got a solid offense. Chris Carson is going to be missing this game after getting injured in the last one. I think he's got some kind of neck injury that he's dealing with.
Damn.
And it's a tough game to call, but I'm gonna go against the grain on this one. I should be leaning towards Seattle with all that, but I'm taking the Rams to bounce back. I think they got a nice little reality check.
Yeah.
In Arizona, and they come out and they look, you know, fierce against the Seahawks, and Aaron Donald is coming. And Russell Wilson does not like that man. Yeah. He does not like him at all. I'm also interested because last year, Jalen Ramsey was in man coverage on DK Metcalf in both games and shut him down in both games.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see if like DK actually gets his revenge or if it's just more of the same with Jalen Ramsey. Just like, nope, I got him. You worry about these guys. He's done. He's out of the game plan. Don't worry about DK.
Yeah. And you made a lot of good points too. I mean, they played a really good team, the Cardinals, you know? So, I mean, it's going to happen, you know?
Yeah. You're
going to lose. It's part of the game.
I am semi-wisdomous every once in a while. And then, of course, the next game on the rundown is the early morning London game where the 1-3 Jets off of, can we say, the upset of the season so far against Tennessee? Like, I still don't know how that happened. I know we were all wrong, but I still don't know how that happened. We seem so confident, too.
Yeah, we did.
Titans are going to win. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, it's over. 38-0. Yeah, sure. Sorry about that, by the way, guys, if you paid any attention to us before you made your picks. My bad. Who saw that coming? Nobody.
No one.
But they're now 1-3, and they're playing the Falcons, who are technically the home team, who are also 1-3.
Yeah.
The Falcons are going to be without, Russell Gage again due to injury, and then Calvin Ridley decided not to make the trip for personal reasons.
Oh, is that why he's out?
Yeah, I don't know what those reasons are. Maybe it has something to do. I mean, I'm just guessing. I don't have. This is alleged. Okay, so don't sue me. I'm guessing it might have something to do with what we were talking about at the beginning of the show with foreign travel.
Oh, okay,
pandemic.
makes sense.
I'm not saying he said that. That's just my opinion. Okay, don't take it any further than that. That's just if I had to take a guess. So they'll be without their top two receivers. The Jets are relatively healthy, and Zach Wilson actually looked like a number 2 pick last week, surprisingly against the Titans. Fooled all of us. Yeah. So you know what? I'm just gonna. I know rookie. There's a little fun fact to put in here. Rookie quarterbacks that have started London games are 0-4, and I've already got Russell Wilson's streak coming to an end. I think this is going to be like Brock Lesnar weekend where all the streaks come to an end. And if you're a wrestling fan, you know what I mean. I think Zach Wilson is going to pull this win out in London against the Falcons. I'm confident enough after last week's amazing win to take the Jets this week. And who knows, probably next week I'll be telling them to go fuck themselves and I'll be picking against them. But this week I got the New York Jets. Yeah. Nikki from Philly, who you got?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this should be the Thursday night game. And the Rams and Seahawks, should be wherever they're going. Where are they going? Do you know?
London. Yeah, I know it's London. I can't remember the name of the arena, but it's some famous soccer stadium there. They go there every year. I can't remember it now.
I mean, you brought up a lot of good points, but, I mean, the Jets, if you watched the game, you saw that it could have been anybody's game, and somehow the Jets pulled it off. Was it overtime game? Yeah, right? No? I forget. I don't know. I can check.
It was an overtime game, and the Jets ended up winning by a field goal.
Yeah, 27-24.
After stopping the Titans on the final drive, and it was like, really? Wow.
Yeah. I mean, so that happens, shit happens. So I still think Matty Ice has a lot left He has a lot left in the tank, so I'm going to take the Falcons here. I mean, the Jets can only do so much. They have so much they still need when it comes to playing the game. So
I mean, in the least, they're gonna the Falcons will probably rely on Cordero Patterson even more after his 3-touchdown game, and I have him in my lineup. Yeah. If you guys have the chance, play him. He's probably going to do well. If he's on the waiver wire still, you're insane not to get him. Go get him. Yeah. But that should bode well, at least for me and my own personal needs. But speaking of personal, then we get to the slot of 1:00 games, and the first one we got to talk about is clearly the 1-3 Eagles going to Carolina to play the 3-1 Panthers. And I'm gonna let Nick start on this first. My man, who you got in this one?
I got to go with the Birds. I didn't go with the Birds last week. I got to go with the Birds. I think they have a chance to win this game. They, like we said, promising, potential. There's a lot of good words. They did a lot of good things in that game. Of course, they fell short. The penalties didn't help. We discussed it. You don't want to hear it again. Penalties, 3 different times we could have scored, but we didn't. If you want to
hear it again, just back this video up and play it and then come back.
but potential. And it's just promising. We look good. I think we're going to go into Carolina and kick some ass. I think we got this game. I just need to see more of Sanders. If we're going to win this game, he needs to be the MVP. He needs to be a big part of the plays of the playbook. He just needs to be prominent. He needs to be there. So I still have the Eagles going here, winning. They look good, man. They look decent.
This is going to be the first time I have to ask you because I agree. So what do you think the score of this game is going to be? Because now we're going to have to go to bonus points.
Shit. Damn it. Let's go 27-21. The Birds.
Okay. And by the way, it was close last week between everybody, but Devin dropped out early and didn't send in his picks. So I actually edged out Nick 14-11 last week.
Damn. My man. Good for you, dude.
Yeah, it was close. I mean, we had similar records, but then when you went to the scores, mine were closest. So I got a few bonus. So I beat you on bonus points alone. I too am going to take the Eagles in this game. I'm a little nervous because Christian McCaffrey says he feels good, and they're hopeful he's going to play Sunday, and that immediately makes our chances even smaller. But I'm with you. I think they need to utilize Miles Sanders more. They need to make Miles Sanders their Christian McCaffrey. You need to get him involved in the run game. You need to get him involved in the passing attack. This man, go back to last year, go back to any year of his young career.
Yeah.
He has been a 3-down dual threat back the entire time. He's caught swing passes and gone 90 yards for touchdowns. He's broken through an offensive line and taken it 80 yards for a touchdown. He can be your poor man's Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
So use him that way. Take a little pressure off of Hurts. Get a little of the coverage off of guys like Devontae Smith and the tight ends and Jalen Reagor, and then maybe, just maybe, you control the clock. You have more chances.
Yep.
And you end up pulling out a close victory. So I'm going to say my score is close to yours too. I'm going to say Eagles win 27-24.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm thinking last minute field goal because they keep it close, but 27-24. And then no, we don't want that. Sorry guys, technical difficulties. I'm working on it. All right. So next game on the rundown, the New Orleans Saints go to FedEx Field and they will be taking on the Washington football team. I finally got it right. Hey.
Yeah.
Only took 3 weeks. And Washington's going to be without Logan Thomas and a few other people here and there. Otherwise, relatively healthy. The Saints are coming in off of an interesting game that they ended up pulling up short against the Giants with in overtime, which was shocking, but not as shocking as the Jets.
Yeah.
At least, I guess, if you're in New York City now, you had a good weekend finally because you were walking in donut for the season, no matter where you looked, and then both your teams won in overtime. So go figure.
Yeah.
In this one, I got to admit, I kind of like what I'm seeing out of Washington offensively.
Yeah.
I was familiar with Taylor Heineke because I watched him play at Old Dominion when he was in college, and he's definitely a solid quarterback. He's probably the best thing they got on that roster right now. But their defense has been non-existent this season. I mean, I don't know if they ever left the facility after like training camp. You know, like we just never came through. We just never came through for the start. We just stayed up there and we're drinking Gatorade and eating orange wedges and hitting tackling dummies. Like they're giving up almost 31 points a game this year, and they were top 5 last year.
Yeah.
So knowing that and seeing what the Falcons did to them, especially with a lot less weapons, I'm gonna have to take New Orleans in this one.
Yeah.
Nikki from Philly, do you agree, or are you leaning towards the team?
I agree. I think the Saints are sneaky good. I mean, Jameis is what they want him to be. He looks good. I mean, he had, I think, 1 touchdown last week, but still, he looked good. Carmera looks good. Taysom Hill looks good.
Taysom Hill, yeah.
Oh,
I almost forgot about him, honestly.
Yeah, Ty Montgomery. So they're sneaky good. That's what I'm trying to say. I can't pronounce any of the fucking names, but you know, it is what it is. They look good. So I got the Saints as well.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they got to get Kamara involved in the passing game a little bit more. That's true. They give him a fair share of carries minus that one game that they lost, but I think he only has like single-digit receptions this year after 4 games, and he led the team in receptions last year. So I think they get again. I think they use Kamara and is like Sanders. Use him more. Get him involved in the pass game. These guys are weapons that you can utilize that other teams can't with just one guy, and then their talent level is so far and away above. So I think the Saints win this game. I'm going to say 30-20.
Damn. I got 19-17.
Oh, you got a defensive battle here, huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that works. And all right, so then the next game up, we got the 3-1 Broncos going to Pittsburgh to take on the 1-3 Steelers.
Huh.
Oh, and this one's tough. We're not sure if Teddy Bridgewater is going to be back or not. They're leaning towards that way, but with concussion protocol, you never really know until you know. So it might be a game time decision. I'm gonna let Nick go first in this one. You think the Steelers win at home or the Broncos pull one out on the road?
I mean, both of their defenses are Steelers are surprisingly bad, and the Broncos are surprisingly good. So this could be a defensive battle. Ben, he doesn't look like himself. Harris, he looks like he's running the ball really well. The wide receivers look really good. Johnson and Juju, he's here and there, hit and miss. So this is tough because, again, Bridgewater, he's pretty important to that offense. I don't know if they can overcome that if he does not play because, Steelers, Ben, he's a veteran. They know what they're doing, So, and their defense isn't awful, but it's not as good as the Steel Curtain as good as they should be. So, I'm going to go with the Steelers here. I don't know the score, but I hope you're not picking the Steelers, so I don't have to pick the score. What do you think?
Okay,
this is going to be a really interesting game.
It's definitely an interesting game. It's hard to call because we don't know what's happening with Teddy Two Gloves yet.
Yeah, Teddy Two Gloves. That's
if
great.
he was playing, I would take the Broncos all day.
Yeah,
I wasn't very impressed, and I get it. He didn't have a whole lot of reps or whatever, but I wasn't very impressed with Drew Lock when he came in after Teddy got the concussion. Now I'm sure he got more reps this week, but it's just it was like they couldn't even run the ball with Drew Lock in the game because they were practically, at least the Ravens defense was practically daring Drew Lock to throw that ball. And even when he did, they weren't that successful with it. So I've been going against the green. I do like the Broncos overall, like as far as their team. Shit, just give me the Broncos. Forget it.
Man.
I'll get bold. I'll take the Broncos. I don't know if Teddy's going to play or not, but maybe Drew Lock with some reps.
Yeah. Maybe the defense,
If he ends up looking a little bit more like he did in his rookie year when they put him in after, some injuries, then I think I think they've got a good chance.
Yep.
But if they got Teddy, they have an even better chance. So I'll take the Broncos. All right. So the next game up is God, this is this one's kind of a stinker. It's kind of a stinker.
What do we got here?
I hate to say that because we got some passionate fans on one side of it, but it's kind of a stinker. You have the 1-3 Patriots coming off a loss to Brady and the Bucks, going into Houston to play the 1-3 Texans, who were flat out embarrassed by the Buffalo Bills last Sunday. And you know what? I had given Davis Mills some credit after the Thursday night game, saying when they took the training wheels off, he looked better.
Yeah.
He then went out and had a terrible fucking performance. So I'm taking New England in this game, and I'm gonna say 28-6. I don't even think maybe the Texans won't get shut out again, but it's not going to be close. Nick, what you got in this one?
Yeah, we said it, with what team? What team got destroyed last week? Oh, the Bills. Or no, the Texans. Oh, yeah, the Texans.
Yeah, them.
Yeah. Those guys. And you usually say, you know what, after a game like that, they're going to come back better. But the Patriots looked really good against Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. They played to the level of their competition, and you don't see that often. Usually you play to the lower level. Usually you play, to that level of if they're a bad team, then you play that, as well as you can against that team. But if it's a good team like the Bucks, they looked really good. So I got to go with the Patriots, man. I do not see the Texans winning, this game at all.
No, maybe if Tyrod Taylor was back, but no.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got to give me a score because we agree on this one. So
yeah, it can't be 40-0. So let's go.
You mean like last week?
Yeah. Let's go 30 to 7. Give him a touchdown or defensive touchdown or something.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Mac Jones might make a mistake,
Yeah.
He's a rookie too. He's just in a better situation than a guy like Davis Mills right now.
Yeah. But it was so cool to see that, Bill Belichick's such a great coach, and that most of the game plan, was going into, playing against Tom Brady, and they played so well, and it was so cool to see, because they always say, the quarterback is the main guy. If he plays well, then the team's going to play well. But if you have a great game plan like Bill Belichick did against the Bucs, I mean, you're gonna play your competition well. So
you're gonna be in it. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, they were one doink in the rain away from winning that game at the very end. So it was kind of like the Eagles game. It was impressive, even though they lost.
Exactly.
You saw that potential again. Hey, there's the word of the day, folks. Drink.
My man.
So the next game is against two teams that we have talked about earlier, that one's in a bad spot and one's in a horrible spot at this point going in. You got the 2-2 Titans going to Jacksonville to take on the Jags. And I know, like, Derrick Henry has dominated the Jaguars throughout his entire career. I mean, I think he literally has 10 games against him, and he's ran for over 1,000 yards. He has 11 touchdowns in those 10 games. I want to see what the Jaguars are going to do after all this Urban Meyer stuff.
Yeah.
Like, are they going to come out and just kind of let Chris Henry go crazy on them and take another loss and say, well, we weren't, I don't know if we were exactly prepared the way we were supposed to, that sort of thing, to kind of start the process of removing Urban Meyer, or if they're going to rally around this guy.
Yeah.
So I got to take Tennessee in this one.
I got Tennessee too, so you got to pick a score.
Okay, and I'm going to say Tennessee wins. I don't think it'll be – I want to give the Jags credit because they had a great game their last time out. Yeah. I'm going to say 21-13.
Yeah. Titans. I think for the Jaguars to win, in order to beat them, I think it's going to be too much. I don't think they have enough in the gas tank to beat the Titans. Even though the Titans didn't look good, I still think the Titans are going to win here, and I think they're going to run the ball. And, they have something to prove too, So I got the Titans as well.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a close game, though, so I'm going to go let's go 14-7. I think it's going to be a close game.
Okay. And on the other side of the coin, if the Titans turn around and lose to two winless teams in back-to-back weeks, now all of a sudden maybe you got the front office looking at that coaching staff and go, okay, who do we get rid of?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's one thing to lose, but when you lose to two teams that had a combined 0 wins going into the games.
Yeah.
I mean, the Jets were 0-3. The Jags are 0-4. If you lose to two teams with a combined 0-7 record, then maybe it's time to push the panic button. I don't care who's hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know. I forget what's the name of the coach? Vabel? Mike
Vrabel. Mike Vrabel.
Yeah.
The old Patriot. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he got a lot of he didn't look good last year at the end of the year. And I think that is, something. What? You think otherwise? I forget.
No, I was agreeing. Like, he didn't look good last year. No. And that was one of the reasons they went out and got Julio Jones, to try to add to that offense, so that maybe, because last year their defense played better than this. So they figured add Julio on offense, you become more explosive, and maybe we get somewhere. And to this point, it hasn't worked very well for the Titans.
Yeah, they've already had a couple for sure.
Yeah, they already had a couple of shocking losses, like the way they got blown out in Arizona and then losing to the winless Jets. I don't care if it was overtime or not; it's still the Jets.
Yeah.
So if they lose this game,
Yeah.
Then maybe Tennessee, then maybe that front office starts looking around at the coaching staff and the coordinators and saying, all right, which one do we get rid of? Like, how do we spark this? Because it's going horribly wrong.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, I mean, for the Jaguars to win this, they have to put a lot into the game plan. And I know they're coming off something controversial. I get it. But again, like we discussed, is it really – I mean, I don't see how they're going to be able to back Urban Myers after that, stand by him and go, let's win this game. Let's be, let's win it. Let's be a team effort. I don't see that here.
Yeah.
So I got the Titans and I got Henry running all day.
Right. Absolutely. All hail King Henry. And now we're on to, another team or another game with teams with losing records. We've got the winless Lions going into Minnesota to play the 1-3 Vikings. And I'm going to let Nick kick us off here. Do you see the Vikings winning at home or Detroit actually playing a full game?
I got the Vikings, and I don't know what the Lions were thinking with Stafford. I mean, I know Stafford wanted out. I get that. And he had that whole meeting, in the hot tub. I mean, we've all heard the story. But I don't know what they were thinking with that. I mean, he is so good. And I understand he wanted out, and he looks amazing. But I don't see them winning here. I think the Vikings they're okay. They're average. They're an average team that can play well. And I think they have it here. I think Vikings beat the Lions easily.
All right, well, give me a score because I got it too.
23-7.
23-7. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's clear to me that the Lions are in the process of hitting the reset button. Like, new coaching staff. Obviously, they wanted to rebuild because their receiving core is gone too. Like, Galladay's in New York. Jones went to Jacksonville. They have some good young talent like Hawkinson and DeAndre Swift.
Hawkinson looks great, dude.
And Jared Goff, while he's not the worst QB, he's not the best either. He's just kind of, if he's on a great team like he was with the Rams in the Super Bowl year, he's going to look good. If he's on a bad team, he's probably going to cost you some games.
Yeah.
And it's just a fact. I mean, we've seen it from him before he came to Detroit and this season. So,
yeah.
And there's a good chance that the Vikings are getting Dalvin Cook back. That's going to make it even worse on Detroit. So yeah, I've got to take the Vikings too, and I'm going to say 21-10.
Okay.
And just leave it there. I mean, it's. I think the Lions are in for a rebuild here, even with some of the talent that they have, and it's not going to look good for them this year. It's just not.
No.
I'm still waiting to see them play a full game because, even at the beginning of the season, played the 49ers, got down big, had a great second half. Played the Packers, had a great first half, got blown out in the second.
Yeah.
It happens in every game. They can't put 4 quarters together. So until that happens, you're going to see a donut in your win column.
Yeah.
And this next game is very interesting for many reasons. We have the Chicago Bears and newly minted starter Justin Fields going into Las Vegas to take on the Raiders after that Monday night debacle. And
that sure
for starters, I think this is more. I know Matt Nagy said I saw enough and he looks comfortable and he's ready, but he said this 2 days after saying Andy Dalton's the guy. When he's healthy, he's going. And then 2 days later, he said, Justin Fields is my starter. I've seen enough. I was like, did you have one practice? And you saw enough in that one practice to change your mind? I think this is, I need to save my job sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, there will be no Montgomery in this game. He left against the, who were they playing last week? The Lions?
Who, the Bears?
Yeah.
The Bears played, the Lions, 24-14.
Yeah, he left the game after 100 yards and a touchdown or two with some type of knee injury, and he did escape the dreaded ACL tear, but he's going to miss a few weeks.
Yeah.
I know the Raiders, they kind of pulled a Lions game. They got beat up in the first half. They tried to fight back in the second half. They came up short. I feel like they rebound and beat Chicago in Chicago and move forward because they are, even in that game, they showed some flash. They're a good team.
Yeah.
They've got some good pieces. David Carr is playing for Derek Carr.
Derek, yeah.
Sorry. I always get those two mixed up too.
Yeah.
Derek Carr is still playing for a contract, which surprises the hell out of me.
Me too.
And there's just there's this pressure to win, but I think they're ready for it. And last week they just met a better team. I mean, it's that simple. The Chargers were a better team. I don't think the Bears are a better team than the Raiders. So I'm going to take Vegas, and just in case, because I'm feeling like I might have to give a score in this one, I'm going to say 28-14.
Yeah. Devin, close your ears. I don't want you to hear this.
Yeah, please, Devin, fast forward this segment when you're watching. You don't want to hear.
Cover your ears. Yeah. I got the Raiders here, and I feel like they're in the similar situation with the Eagles. If I remember correctly, I think they had a lot of penalties that game.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see that again with John Gruden. He's a really good coach, and we can go back and say the Eagles, Nick Sirianni, rookie, blah blah blah. But John Gruden, he's going to fix it, and I see them still producing, doing well in the running game. I know Jacobs was hurt last week or 2 consecutive weeks, and he was back and he looked decent. I think that helps a lot because Derek Carr uses him often. So when he's healthy, I think they're going to play well. And I think, he had a decent game last week. I think this week he'll be back. And I think, John Gruden, he loves his running back. So he's going to utilize Jacobs here. Derek Carr, that's a crazy thing, man.
Not David Carr.
Oh, Derek. God damn it. You made me do it too. Derek,
no, I did it. You were fine. I did it, so I had to chastise myself.
Yeah. Derek Carr, it is crazy that he's still playing for a contract. But I mean, that's the best. That's the best way to play a game, playing for something. And he's playing for that contract. And if he doesn't get it, my mind's going to be blown because I think he deserves it. But yes, long story short, I got the Raiders. And then I guess I got to give you a score here. So I'm going to go I'm going to go 28-14 the Raiders.
That's the same score I had.
Nuh-uh, really?
Yeah, it really is.
All right, 27-17.
27-17. Okay, good enough. And we should know about Chucky because he's one of those guys that came off the Andy Reid tree right here in Philadelphia.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he looks back at the plays and he sits down the team and he tells them like let's be better. So I got the Raiders here.
Yeah, Chucky's definitely going to wreak havoc as we head into the Halloween season here. Now to one of the better games as we move into the 4 o'clocks, we have a
lot of shitty games, by the way.
There really is. There really fucking is. But this one's a good one. The 3-1 Cleveland Browns going into LA to play the 3-1 Chargers in the afternoon.
Go Chargers.
Yeah. I'm gonna take the Chargers in this one too, but I'll let you go first. What do you got as far as the score?
Dude, Herbert looks good, man.
Amazing.
Everything looks good. Williams looks good. What's their wide receiver's name?
Keenan Allen?
Keenan Allen looks good. Even the running back looks good. I mean, the
tight end they snagged out of the XFL caught a touchdown in that last game.
Yeah.
Shout out to Donald Parham.
Is it still Eckler? Is that it?
Austin Eckler. Yes.
Yeah, he's still playing. He looks good, dude. That team is fun to watch. So, yeah, I got the Chargers, and I think you have the Chargers too. So I'm going to go let's go 34-30 Chargers.
Oh, okay. So you got the Chargers.
High-scoring game.
Nice. I feel that. I've definitely got the Chargers too. I love what they've done the last few weeks because their first couple of games, they look like the Chargers of last year. They got into a tight game. They made mistakes. They had penalties. They did whatever, and they lost those close games like they have for 3 years at least. and a few different coaching regimes. So it seems like the last couple of weeks they've definitely turned a corner and they've started to kind of rewrite a chapter here. And I think it continues. I think they're definitely going to win. And it's going to be Cleveland's going to be tough. I know Baker Mayfield has a labrum injury in his non-throwing shoulder, so he'll be wearing a brace again. He's a little bit one, that's for sure. He definitely, something smells a little fishy around Baker. That's all I'm gonna say. And you know, Cleveland's running game will probably keep them in a little bit, but I'm still gonna take the Chargers, and I'm gonna say they win. I don't know. How about 27-20? I mean, it should be a good game, but I just think the Chargers have too much for the Browns.
Yeah.
And okay, so now we have the New York Football Giants coming off their first win of the season, going into Dallas to play Jerry's kids. And I was impressed with the way the Giants fought back last week. I will give them that. Saquon definitely looked more like himself in that game than he has in a while, especially all season a while. The Cowboys, have been strong, but there's been talk of maybe Zeke being a game time decision, and they're not quite sure about Amari Cooper. They limited them both in practice so far this week. But regardless, I think Dallas wins. Yeah. And in spite of a good game by Daniel Jones, I think he's starting to come around and figure out how to play this game in the NFL. I think he had like 400 yards against the Saints, which is not easy to do. They're a great defense. And so I think it'll be relatively close. But I'll take the Cowboys 30-20.
Nice.
Nikki,
I'm going to go
Philly,
I hate saying this, but I got to go with the Cowboys. And like you said, there's a lot of game time decisions here. But I mean, the backup, Tony Pollard, he looks good. So if that,
amazing.
If Zeke's out, then I don't think they're going to be as affected when it comes to the running game. I think they're still going to do well. And you got CeeDee Lamb, you got a lot of good players on that team that will step up. So I got the Cowboys as well. Let me go 41-21 Cowboys.
Okay, 40 Burger in the building. All right, that's the first one you called this week. No, it should be a decent enough game. I don't have that much faith in the Giants yet. No. You're gonna have to earn it. And I hate picking the Cowboys too. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. All right, so we have another division game here. We've got the 2-2 San Francisco 49ers, who may or may not be without Jimmy G this week. They're still hopeful he'll play. Going into Arizona to face the last undefeated team in the NFL, the Cardinals. And I started off the Cowboys game. So Nikki from Philly, you weigh in first. Who you got here?
Dude, there's no doubt. It's got to be the Cardinals. I mean, Murray looks so good. Edmonds looks so good. Even Connor from Pittsburgh, he looks good. And you got A.J. Green. You got
A.J. Green busted out last week. Everybody talks about DeAndre Hopkins, and then here comes A.J. Green with a huge day. Yeah. And you're like, oh, yeah, right. He's on the Cardinals now. I totally forgot.
Yeah. I mean, Connor's had 2 touchdowns last week. It's insane. And Murray threw for 268 yards. You know how I know this? Because I have the stats pulled up.
Good for you. Be prepared. I like that. I don't have anything else to put it on, or I'd be prepared too.
But to be honest, Cardinals look like the most complete team in the NFL. And I know the Buccaneers look really good. And I know there's other teams that look really good, like the Chiefs. I mean, they had 2 or 3, 2 games that, they were like, are these the Chiefs from the past? And we're not sure. But complete team, I got the Cardinals here, and I think it's going to be a blowout. I don't want to put another 40 on the board, so I'm going to go 30-17.
30-17.
Because you're going to pick the Cardinals, right?
Oh yeah, I'm taking Arizona too. And I don't think it'll matter if Jimmy G or Trey Lance start this game, because they both looked relatively good this season, and Their running game is good. Their defense is good. I love Deebo Samuel. I love that fucking guy. I love the fact that he showed up to the stadium last week dressed as Deebo on a bike and everything. That was fucking beautiful. But
it's too
that's
much.
Where the love ends, because I don't think they're going to be in this game for very long.
No.
I'm also going to take the Cardinals, and I will say, how about 31-21?
Okay. I mean, like I said, they're the most complete team in my eyes, right? Like,
yeah. Not to mention, San Francisco's got to find a kicker because Robbie Gould injured his groin in that last game. They had their punter kicking field goals.
Yeah.
So I'm not even sure. I think they might have signed Joey Sly or something like that, the guy that used to be with the Texans. But they have to find a kicker. You got to worry about your quarterback and your kicker in the same week. Not a good look, especially going in on the road against this team.
Yeah.
So who would have thought the Cardinals would be the last undefeated team in the NFL?
Insane.
I knew they were going to be good, but the last one, like, get the fuck out of here. But apparently so.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that leads us into Sunday night football. We have the 3-1 Buffalo Bills coming off back-to-back shutouts, going into Arrowhead to play the Kansas City Chiefs.
Dude.
And I think it's safe to say that the shutout streak will end at 8 quarters, because I don't think the Bills will get through one in this game without giving up points. So I'm going to go there.
Yeah.
And I mean, yes, the Bills have looked good, and yes, their defense has been good, but they've, you know how last week I had picked the Cowboys to beat the Panthers, and you guys have both picked the Panthers.
Yeah,
I picked the Cowboys because I looked at who the Panthers had played to that point, and I thought, this is going to be so much of a bigger test.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the Bills in almost the same light. Like, they have beaten down a couple of teams in back-to-back weeks. They lost a close game to the Steelers that they gave away. But when you look at the competition level, it is nowhere near that of Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm not saying there's a lot of teams that are.
No, yeah.
But you shut out the Dolphins, and then you shut out the Texans with a backup quarterback. I think you're supposed to do that. I don't think you're going to be able to hold Patrick Mahomes at bay. I don't think you're going to be able to hold the Chiefs under 40. And small side note, Josh Gordon actually got promoted from the practice squad this week, and he's probably going to see some time in this game. They don't know how significant. It depends on how quickly he's picked up the offense. So good luck to him as well. But I think the Chiefs have enough to pull this one out on Sunday night and really make a statement. Because, like I said, the 2 games that they won, they were kind of like, okay, here you go, Andy, you can have this one.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be that kind of game. I think this is where they come out and make a statement and get a big win over a good Bills team who they might see again in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself.
Yeah.
Especially in a 17-game season. But I'll say the Chiefs. And just in case, I'll say they're going to end up winning this game 28-24.
Yeah.
In a close one.
You know how I said the Saints were sneaky good?
Yes.
I think the Bills are sneaky bad. I mean, I think they
You're not wrong.
Yeah, I think they play to the level. I brought it up before. I think they play to the level of the competition. And the Chiefs look so good against us. And like I said, we played well, but the Chiefs were a better team last week. Mm-hmm. I'm with you. I think the Chiefs, they got to prove something. I mean, injuries. How are they doing with injuries? I'm not sure. Anything? Anyone?
Nobody really, that impactful.
Significant.
Like, like they're missing Matt Milano, who was a Pro Bowl middle linebacker last year, but they've been missing him for a few weeks now.
Got it.
Nothing that I can see that's very significant.
Yeah.
So
I'm still going with the Chiefs.
Okay.
And I still think it's going to be not a high scoring game, but I think it's going to be competitive just because I think, like I said, they're sneaky bad, but they're still pretty good at what they do, and they have a lot of weapons. 27-17, the Chiefs.
27-17. Yeah, I mean, it should be a good game. It is the rematch of the 2020 AFC Championship game. So these teams have not fallen off that much,
No.
if at all, from that. So it should be good. I mean, the Chiefs won then, and I think they're going to win now. No, said.
Yep.
And then last but not least, we have the Monday night game, which is Carson Wentz, bad ankles and all, and the Colts traveling to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. And Jesus, like, I just a small fun fact. Lamar Jackson, we heard about Patrick Mahomes in September until that ended, but Lamar Jackson is actually 7-0 in the month of October.
Damn.
I had no idea.
Yeah, that's impressive, dude.
7-0. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I know maybe he missed a few games here and there, obviously, but 7 undefeated in the month of October so far. We'll start with Nikki for Philly. Do you think he stays undefeated, or do the Colts have enough to win this one?
As much as I respect Carson Wentz, I was happy that he left. But that means nothing. I'm an Eagles fan, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But Lamar Jackson is a real deal, and I love what they're doing with him. I mean, it just looks so dynamic. The defense looks decent. The offense looks good. I mean, they don't have a lot of profiled names. They don't have a lot of names that you would know that would make, the Madden cover or on the magazine, or you would even draft in your fantasy football lineup. I mean, Andrews, Lamar, maybe the running backs, but they still look like I don't want to say a complete team, but they look like a decent team, and they've been winning games. So I think they win this game. This is going to be the first game that I see Wentz live. I haven't watched. I don't know if he was on any of the day games for week 1, 2, 3, 4. So it'll be cool to see him. I know, there's a little soft spot in my heart for Wentz, but he ain't winning this. No way in hell.
Nah, probably not. I mean, I've seen flashes of Carson Wentz here and there because Red Zone Channel is amazing.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, he has definitely looked good. He hasn't exactly gotten back to like 2017 pre-knee injury form, but he's definitely looked better than he's looked in a couple of years. And the Colts are a good team, and they've won and they've lost a lot of close games.
Yep.
Just due to Carson Wentz going down, or just playing, just getting outplayed by a slightly better team. I see that happening again here. I see the Ravens, who have been so tough fighting through all these injuries since preseason, just being a little bit better than the Colts on Monday night. Because both teams have pretty good defenses. Both teams can run the ball. Both teams have solid quarterbacks. Lamar may be a little bit more than solid. I might not be giving him enough credit, but I feel like it's going to be another one of these games where, the Colts have a great effort and come up just this much short, like they have at least twice already this season. So I'll take the Ravens, and I'm going to say the final score 27-24. Oh, I'm going to need a score from you.
Yeah. 34-14.
Okay. Apparently he's not giving the Colts as much credit as I am.
No.
And, so since we have a few minutes here, and since I don't really have a final thought this week, I think we're going to go back to an earlier topic since I jumped it. We're going to hit one more too soon. And, obviously, we're 4 weeks through the NFL season. We're going into week 5. And again, it's probably too soon to say in a 17-game season, but if you had to pick, let's just say an MVP and a Rookie of the Year, you go offense, defense. If you want, you could just take one.
Yeah.
Who would you have in winning those awards after 4 games?
For MVP, I think it's either Murray or Tom Brady. I know I'm sticking with quarterbacks here, and that's something that's easy to do. But
yeah, but then the NFL, when was the last non-quarterback to win MVP?
And it's weird to say Tom Brady is in the mix for MVP, but he just looks so pure. He looks so good at that age too. It's unbelievable. And for the longest time, I said, you know what, Peyton Manning is a better quarterback. But let's be real, Tom Brady is the greatest. And Murray just looks like he's having fun. It looks like he's playing the game to just play. He's not worried about the score. He's not worried about the money. He's out there, and weapons help. Weapons help, and he has weapons from the offense to the defense. So if I had to go 1-2, it'd probably be Murray 1 and then Tom Brady 2.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, as far as MVP, I would say, if we're doing like, I know you picked some NFC guys. If I had to, I'd probably say like Murray in the NFC and then in the AFC. At this point, I might give it to Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
He's had a phenomenal year.
Yeah.
He is he's had such a meteoric rise to begin with. I mean, we talked about Jalen Hurts and his 8 games. Well, here's maybe 19, 20 games in with Justin Herbert, and look at the numbers that he's putting up. And look at the maturation process just from rookie season, like no sophomore slump. I'm gonna keep skyrocketing.
It's impressive
until I'm one of these quarterbacks, one of these elite quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah.
And I might give the slight edge to Herbert for MVP of the league, just overall.
Yeah.
And it's nothing against Brady. Again, I thought Peyton Manning was better too. And to this day, I still think he does, because Brady is now, basking in the rule changes that Peyton Manning created when he was playing the Patriots.
Yeah.
So had Peyton Manning stuck around or been a little younger, you never know. Yeah. But I'd still maybe argue that Peyton Manning was a better quarterback. I'm just saying. It's like I had said, Dan Marino was probably a better overall quarterback than anybody that's ever played, because none of these rules existed, and the man was breaking records in his rookie season, throwing for all these yards and touchdowns. No running game his entire career. Yeah,
seriously.
And he dominated the league in a time where none of these rules for contact or anything even existed.
The Brady rule.
It was just hit guys over the middle, grab guys, throw them to the ground, pass interference maybe twice a game, and he still dominated. So, it's again like Peyton's probably better than Brady and Marino's probably better than both. But if we put Marino in today's NFL, shit.
Yeah.
We're talking a 7,000 yard season in a 17 game season.
Yeah. I mean, Herbert was a rookie of the year last year, right? I mean, he is or 2 years ago, right? Or I don't know. Was this the sophomore year? Okay, yeah.
This is the sophomore year. Yeah. Last year he was rookie of the year. I'm gonna be bold, and I'm gonna say he goes straight from rookie of the year to MVP.
Is it too soon? We do not know.
We do not know, but that's the whole point of this. That's the whole point of this whole exercise is to see where we are later on. I'm writing these down. I'm like, okay, I got Justin Herbert. I don't know. I even put a question mark.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I gotta be honest. I think Cliff Kingsbury might be coach of the year. To be real. I mean,
at this point,
like you said, he's got a lot of weapons, but he's put together this amazing offense around Kyler Murray, and they are just as dangerous running the ball as they are throwing it.
Yeah.
They have all these crazy gadget plays and things that you don't see other teams doing from week to week. And now with the talent being there, it's really working for them.
Yeah. I mean, he could be one, or I mean, even John Harbaugh. I mean, the amount of injuries they have and they still look this good. That would be cool to see. But no, I mean, you got to give it.
I think it's safe to say at this point it's kind of a short list between like him, Harbaugh,
maybe
McVay, and then Brandon Staley, the new coach of the Chargers. because he's got that team playing on a whole other level. I mean, we all knew Austin Eckler was good.
Yeah.
But this year, when he's out there and he's healthy, he looks tremendous.
Yeah.
I mean, that Monday night game against the Raiders, he destroyed that defense single-handedly. Through the air, on the ground, it didn't matter. Austin Eckler, I mean, they call him pound for pound for a reason. That dude is strong, and he is in an offense that is built for his set of skills. Yeah. And it shows. I mean, he's like the second coming of Alvin Kamara. I swear to God.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would. And then Rookie of the Year.
Rookie. This is a little tough because I think it's a little too soon. But if I would have to pick, I would have to go either Najee Harris or, and I hate doing this, but Micah Parsons looks unstoppable.
Yeah.
It's just Harris doesn't have a lot to, and he doesn't even have a solid offensive line. I mean, what can he do as a rookie?
Well,
but he's still
there's that. Yeah. And it almost feels like the Steelers want to use him more as a receiver than a running back because he might have 40 yards rushing, but like he's had at least one, if not back-to-back 100-yard receiving games. Yeah. So, like, okay, hand him the ball. He's not a receiver. You don't have to do this. But I get they are, in a way, making up for an inept offensive line that they said they worked on in the offseason.
Yeah, bullshit. So,
you know, you got to utilize him somehow. We already talked about, like, get Miles Sanders involved more, get Alvin Kamara involved more. Or Kamara, I'm sorry, see how I'm doing it. Yeah. And they're getting Najee Harris involved any way that they can and having success with it. So it's a good pick. And I hate we could go for like offense, defense. That works. I'll try to do the same. I mean, Harris has been good, but when I think about the rookies on offense this year and the impact that they're making, it's clearly not a quarterback because most of them have looked like shit.
Oh, but I got one. Go ahead. Let me hear yours.
The one guy that has stood out as far as a rookie in the first 4 games, Jamar Chase.
There you go.
I mean, it's been 4 games. 4 games, he's got at least 4 touchdown catches, you know, and all the talk in training camp and preseason about how he couldn't catch the football. And he has been a dynamic playmaker. You know, in that offense, he looks like a young A.J. Green. Yeah. And I think the sky is the limit for that guy. So I'm going to go with him. I'm actually going to agree with you on Micah Parsons.
Ugh,
and
I hate that
I want to hate to do it because he's a Cowboy. Yep. I don't hate doing it because he's a Nittany Lion and we are. So therefore, I'm going to give it to Penn State's own rookie, Micah Parsons, and I'm going to keep the Cowboys completely separated.
Fuck the Cowboys.
Micah, you're a Lion for life. You are Defensive Rookie of the Year. End of story.
Yeah. I don't know if you got to see Hard Knocks, but he was on it, dude. You could tell. I mean, right then and there, he was going to be great.
I honestly didn't. I've dropped my HBO like long ago. I never got the HBO Max. I never did any of that shit. I was just like, I'm done. Yeah. And it does pain me a little bit because I did enjoy that show. And they're supposed to be doing a regular season one this year too with your boy Wentz. Yeah. Yeah, they're going to be following Prince Harry and the Colts all.
You're going to see Wentz in the locker room with 2 crutches, can't even walk.
But yeah, I mean, I'm sure we'll probably revisit this in like week 8, and we'll go back over. I'll keep track. I'll keep some notes on who we picked, and we'll see where they're at if we changed our mind, and we'll go from there. But for now, I think that's all we have. So I want to thank everybody for watching this, and I want to first and I want to, of course, thank Nikki from Philly for showing up again. I love having him here. It was great to have this whole, 2 flew over the cuckoo's nest environment and just kick back with our colors and let it rip. This was definitely a whole lot of fun. I'm hoping we get him back next week. Maybe Devin. You never know. That's the joy of the Syndicate. Anybody can come. The only one you're stuck with is me, folks. But for now, before we sign off, I'm gonna give Nick the opportunity to just plug himself a little bit. Let people know where you're at, what you're doing. Yeah, fire away.
Thank you, man. You can find us on Twitter at the UW Pod and Instagram at UW Podcast. And we're just two guys from South Jersey talking all things wrestling. And every now and then we talk sports. That's why I'm on here. I love this. This is a lot of fun. So, Dom, I tip my hat to you. This has been awesome.
Oh, no problem.
I appreciate you. You can find us. We do have a website, uwpod.com. And a big announcement's coming up soon, man. This is going to be great. We usually don't do guests because we just want to have, we just want to be two fans talking wrestling. But we got this opportunity to have a guest on, and it's going to be fun. I'm not going to say any more than that, but you got to tune in. It's going to be a hell of a time.
No, I hear you, dude. And you definitely want to make sure you get that one like done, recorded, and in the pipe before you mention anything. I've been there. But yeah, we even got to get your co-host on and do like the Universal Bird Game podcast.
Yeah, he's a big Cardinals fan, so he does.
Okay, well,
unfortunately, exactly.
The Universal Bird Gang pod. That'll be the episode. It'll be us three just throwing down. We definitely got to have him on too, because I do listen to the UW pod and I love you guys. And
appreciate
you guys should definitely, if you're watching this, go check them out, especially if you're wrestling fans. And if you are wrestling fans, you probably know that I also do the
Top Rope, baby.
Top Rope Wrestling Talk with my man High Class and my homegirl Grandma Wendy, who was nice enough to make me vice president when she runs in 2024. And you can find us and this show on YouTube at TRWT parentheses a Fox Den John. And of course, you can find the audio podcast for this at anchor.fm/FoxDen. You can find Top Ropes at anchor.fm/TRWT. We're pretty much everywhere podcasts are enjoyed. So pick your platform from there and enjoy. Listen to us on Anchor, whatever the hell you feel like doing. And as far as social media goes, I don't really have anything set up for the Sports Syndicate. I haven't had a big chance, and I wanted to see how the show did first and really focus on the product, and then maybe we'll expand. But for now, if you want to get in touch with me or ask me something for the show or give me something to talk about, come find me on Twitter at South Philly Psycho, S_Philly Psycho. And you can find Top Rope at Top Rope WT on Twitter. You can also find Top Rope on Facebook. We have a podcast page and a community group. Just search for Top Rope Wrestling Talk. Like one, invite yourself to the other. You'll be able to catch all the links, all the chats, all the everything we do, including prediction forms for pay-per-views where you too can become one of our champions. I'm a 20-time champ myself. I'm good at picking these things. Devin and Nick can't stop me here. It's like playing Stump the Psycho. And but it's a gift, and I share it with you every week, sometimes twice. And and of course, you can find Top Rope on Instagram at top_rope_wrestling_talk. And I'm even thinking about, putting together some Sports Syndicate merch and putting it up there. But right now, all we have is TRWT merch, which you can find at trwtmerch.threadless.com. And we have everything. I mean, shirts for everyone, men, women, children. We have onesies, for Christ's sake. We have bath mats, beach towels, shower curtains, blankets, pillows, shoes, leggings, you name it, we've got it. And exactly. And I'm going to be adding more for not only that show, but maybe a few things for the Sports Syndicate. I've got some stuff in the works right now. Cool. So definitely check that out. And just enjoy the weekend of football. I hope your team wins. And if you don't, well, there's at least another few weeks left. So you got a chance. But and please fly, Eagles, fly. Because I don't know about next week, man. Please.
Yeah. We need a win here.
Carolina. We need this. But until next week, from my man Nicky from Philly, this is the Psycho. Enjoy your weekend, guys. We will see you. Peace.